what is going to be left of not just the Ferguson Police Department, but really the municipality when all is said and done?
Well, Dana, where reforms are needed, to the extent they are, they're being made. You know, several police officers have been dismissed. Another police officer or two have been disciplined. As you indicated, we've had a resignation of the police chief, whether that was warranted or not. The protesters have that resignation. They have the resignation of the city manager, warranted or not. It's hard for most of the law-abiding citizens of Missouri, Ferguson, and the St. Louis region to really know what they're protesting now.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit difficult. Everything, you have a lot of different groups that have come into that particular area, and we've discussed that on the program before. But this shooting and this individual, this Jeffrey Williams, I mean, he had said he was a protester. Bishop Williams had gone and visited him in the jail. He said that, yeah, Williams told me he was a protester, whatever regular means. The point is that he went there, and the point is that you have these so-called peaceful protesters who have been on tape screaming threats at cops, threatening to rape their wives, threatening to go after their kids. I mean, that's not, as I said earlier, that's not my narrative. That's on video. They act like they're surprised that something like this happened. I think that they fomented it. They wanted this.
Dana, as you pointed out, they make it sound like you need a government license to be a certified protester. This is one occupation that has not come under the regimen of government licensing yet. So there are no barriers to entry here. Look, the law-abiding citizens of Missouri, of the greater St. Louis region, of Ferguson, the good business owners and the good people in Ferguson who are bringing a business renaissance to those neighborhoods, as you know, firsthand, before the 9th of August, we and they have had enough of the protests. And I was heartened. I happened to be spending the night in St. Louis for two different functions Saturday night, and on the 10 o'clock news, there was a lead story of an African-American minister and flanked by business owners there in Ferguson. They held a press conference and said, enough from the protesters. You know, a poor guy who owns a neighborhood pub stood up, small business owner, and he said, we're trying to provide jobs here to a community that needs them very badly, and we can't do that when there are 200 protesters in the street and the police have closed down the street.
Right.
So really, we've had enough. We've had 7 months of this. And whatever message they wanted to get delivered, the messages have gotten through, and the law-abiding citizens want peace and quiet in their neighborhood.
And they're not getting it, unfortunately. And I think that Department of Justice report has gone a long way in really adding or dividing further already a number of different groups in Ferguson. Is that what, and I know you've been very critical of that DOJ report before. You and I just have discussed it on my radio program. And it seemed, in my perspective, this report seemed like an act of vengeance. Is that me? Do you think I'm taking it too far, or is that an accurate description?
They don't have to take my word or your word for it, Dana. Let's take the word of a sound, solid, national leading law enforcement spokesman, Sheriff David Clark from Milwaukee, who said that he rejects this. He said it's a fig leaf for a Justice Department that wanted to stick it to Darren Wilson and could not. And so they had to have something to show for 40 FBI agents in there and all the rest. Where reforms are needed, we're making them. The Missouri legislature is moving swiftly on a bill to crack down on municipal court abuses of traffic, you know, running a revenue machine through the traffic courts. And by the way, St. Louis County is overwhelmingly dominated by Democrats, and the St. Louis region has been for decades. If this is happening, they're by and large being oppressed by Democrats, office holders.